And what we're going to do, since my internet is unstable, I'm going to try to go ahead with the information session as I normally do. I normally, we have some more coming, so we'll wait a moment. What I normally do is show a little video just to kind of get us in the mood, but I think I'm going to skip that video today because I think it's just not going to work out. So I apologize for that. And then I will answer any questions. If my internet is so unstable that you can't hear me, just let me know and we will try to reschedule another time. Either that or Kristen Laws, who's the one that has organized all these wonderful events this week. She will share the video from Monday's information session, and then we can schedule another time to talk. So I apologize for the unstable internet. I should have stayed at the office instead of coming home. I should have known better. So I'm going to try to start my video, see if I can talk to you. What's that, Lonnie?
Julie, I was just going to say that's no guarantee, so don't take that on. It could go and anywhere. I think after a while we're going to start using terms that we apply to technology to our own brain functions.
Yes.
My mental capacity is unstable.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Well, I live way out in the country and we don't even get internet where I live. And so that we have to rely on the hotspots on our phones and on our, I have a tablet that I use. And unfortunately, I used all my high-speed data and it's supposed to be renewed today, but it must be renewing at midnight because I have not gotten it yet. So let me try. Okay, here I am. But if this slows everything down too much, please let me know and I'll just turn off my camera because you don't need to see me. But I'm Julie Dishman. I'm the Director of Recruitment Admissions at Earlham School of Religion. And I am joined here with a few people from Earlham School of Religion, Lonnie Valentine, who is a professor of peace studies. And then down in the little square that says spirituality and activism, ESR events, that's Kristen Laws. And she is our coordinator for events and applications. And she has just been fabulous about coordinating this whole week of spirituality and activism, the spirituality gathering and this visit week. She's just done an amazing job with it. So I thank her so much. And again, I apologize if I'm a little slow or if my video is a little slow. So why don't we go around, and since there are just a few of us, why don't we introduce ourselves, say our name, where we're from, and how about say a book that you're reading now. And I'm going to start with Lonnie.
Okay, hi everybody. Lonnie Valentine, Peace and Justice Studies. And what that means in terms of the programs that I work with students who are in the Master of Divinity program who have an interest and emphasis in peace and justice studies. And like the other areas of emphasis, there are usually 4 courses in these areas. And as you're probably aware of, there are a number of different areas of emphasis coming from the Quaker tradition that everybody has a ministry. And so we're trying to figure out ways to accommodate the huge variety. I also work with those in the, if you will, academic Master of Arts in religion, where people do a thesis work. I've worked with about 30 or so students over the years working on their thesis projects that end up, being, applied in very different ways and so on. So there's plenty of room to shape a thesis according to your interest. And then the new program, the Master of Arts in Peace and Social Transformation, just started this year. It was intended to be a cohort program. It's still intended to be that, but this year with COVID, we couldn't have people here. And so the idea of that is to have people intensely in residence for a year of coursework and practicum experiences, and then that's followed by a summer internship. So basically, it's a year, academic year, and a summer program for a Master of Arts in Peace and Social Transformation. A book I'm reading now that my spouse found, and it's related to the work in some of the classes. It's a book called Altruism. It's about 700 pages long, so we're slowly working through that one. But it's trying to sort of give the basis for a deeper understanding, both scientifically and philosophically, of what the heck altruism is and how you may cultivate it in one's community and the larger society. So, and in addition, since that's a big book, I tend, coming from Southern California and growing up by the ocean and surfing and swimming in the sea, I watch video clips of surfing. So there you go.
That's how he relaxes. Well, next on my screen, if she would introduce herself, is Jane Stowe. And I want to add that I've known Jane for, gosh, probably over 20 years, because I used to work in the Peace and Global Studies department on the Earlham College campus. And she used to come into the office there, and I met her there. And her husband worked for Earlham College. So I do know Jane from there. Thanks for coming, Jane.
Okay.
If you want to introduce yourself and tell us a book that you're reading.
Yeah. I'm Jane Stowe, and I live in Richmond. I retired to Richmond, but I grew up in Richmond. My father actually taught at Earlham Physics Department, and my husband, Peter, was more doing volunteer work after our retirement. But anyway, I was various things of elementary and early childhood teacher and administrative assistant and so on, but I did a lot of peace activism because I grew up in Clear Creek meeting here on campus, where half the meeting were recent COs from World War II, and they all wanted to have lots of kids, and we had more kids than we did adults in that meeting when I was growing up. But there was a big emphasis on peace and pacifism, so that was ingrained in me, and I was doing marches and vigils during Vietnam, and even wrote a letter to Eisenhower to stop the H-bomb, and then I went to the Seneca Women's Peace Camp to try to stop Reagan's build up with weapons, and then, which was really a great experience because the police were joining in our celebration. It was like a celebration, but I mean, you could call it a protest, but it was like a celebration. The police just joined in. There wasn't any friction at all with them. Anyway, then later I was released, a support person, part of a support group for a released friend in Baltimore yearly meeting after we moved east to the DC area. And that was, the others, I didn't get any burnout or anything. And I felt spiritually uplifted, even though I wasn't doing particularly focused on spiritual practices. And with the release friend, it got a little bit stressful with a lot of criticism from other yearly meeting members, wanting to separate support and oversight and not kind of comprehending that it was really like a third world country out there in New Mexico. She was helping the Native Americans that she had met to write grants and so forth. But anyway, it was a good experience. And so then when we retired, I just started auditing classes here at Earlham. We retired back to Earlham, and first I audited undergraduate classes, and then I came over to ESR and I did a few classes here and there, and then I focused on the writing classes with Susan Yanos, who was the teacher of writing at that point, and took all her classes. But I really didn't get anything published. My husband developed dementia it was a genetically linked dementia in his family, and he just passed away this October. But it's been a lot of caring for him the past decade. So, so that now I'm, free. I can think about what I want to take courses again and what I want to do with this writing, about the writing, so.
Thanks, Jane. And what book are you reading now?
Could you hear me all right this time? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Kyle, you're next on my screen.
Hi, thank you. My name is Kyle McCormick. I'm just interested in getting to know the program. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And the current book for me is Ernst Bloch's Atheism and Christianity.
Great. Thank you very much. Craig, you're next on my screen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Craig Bartlett, and I'm a Canadian citizen currently living in South Korea. I have, as I mentioned in a previous group, my original spiritual home is the United Church of Canada. I'm ordained in metropolitan community churches. Being a member of the sexual majority does not bar one from seeking ordination in that fellowship, and so I've been a teacher of English as a foreign language here in Korea, but for the last 6 years, I've been a worker pastor, I suppose you could say, as I've been a volunteer leader of a faith community of MCC in Seoul. The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly impacted that, and we've kind of gone on a temporary hiatus, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I've been accepted for admission into the Order of Ministry of the United Church of Canada, so I'm looking at possibilities there. I came into contemplation as a spiritual practice through a friend of mine who was running a Zen Buddhist meditation group in Seoul. And as part of my formation as part of my formation in MCC, I took up Zen meditation as my primary spiritual practice. And that is something that I have continued to do during that time. And an important part of my journey is that for 17 years after I moved to Korea, I was basically a dun. If you're familiar with the terms of those who are SBNR, spiritual but not religious, you have two groups. There have been two demographic groups which have been defined. There are the nuns, those N-O-N-E, those who have no religious background, and those who are done with organized religion. So for 17 years, I was in the latter category, and so I'm coming back to the mainline religious tradition and treasuring treasuring just how important it is for me to be part of the progressive aspect of that mainline tradition. Books that I'm reading now, a book that has just been done recently on thriving churches, which is written by a couple of United Church of Canada ministers. And which is looking at the characteristics of churches which are thriving, which is a significant concern within many mainline denominations, with declining membership and congregations which seem to be closing with alarming regularity. I just finished Fishing Tips, which was actually written by the lead minister at one of those churches which was defined as thriving. So this person tells his story of leading this congregation and how they came to be thriving. And having spent some time in Vietnam in late 2019, I decided, I've been, pardon me, rewatching some things on Vietnam, particularly the Vietnam conflict. And I just found a copy of The Quiet American by Graham Greene. So I'm looking forward to digging into that one.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you know this, but we have an exchange program with a university in South Korea, Hanshin, in Hanshin. Pre-COVID, we had a couple students from that university come and study at ESR, and then we've had one student go there. And then Grace Jisoon Kim, who's on our faculty, she's from South Korea. Thanks. Vicki, you're next on my list.
Okay. I'm a retired faculty member, and one of the colleges I worked at was Wilmington College, Quaker institution. And a couple of years ago, I discovered Philip Gulley, who I found to be fascinating. And, you know, once in a while you find one of those authors who writes what you think, but writes it better. And I found Philip to be that person. So on a whim, I signed up this semester for a course called Introduction to Quakerism, and have really enjoyed it, have written my reflections right along with the kids. And I thought that, you know, perhaps I might want to go a step further. I'm really intrigued with your certificate programs and would like to know how those work. And, you know, I'm just in Wilmington, which is not that far from Richmond, so it's possible that we might be able to work something out.
Oh yeah, easily.
And one of the books that I've just discovered, this is probably an author that you know, and Lamont, and I thanks, wow, which is I'm laughing and tearing up a few times through it. It's quite moving.
Thank you. Ina,
So that's me.
Oh, Vicki. Thanks. Vicki, you were pausing a little bit, and I don't know if it's me or if others were having the same problem or not. Again, my internet is really unstable, so I apologize.
It was breaking up for me.
Well,
was it? Okay.
But mine is unstable too. We live out in the country, and I'm actually on my phone because it's a little reliable than my internet with my computer. So I'm a retired faculty member. I worked with Wilmington.
Yeah. What did you say you taught there?
I was chair of the education department.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, and we heard everything else. It was just at the very end you broke up just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Thanks.
We understand internet issues.
Yeah. Ina.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I've been in and out a little bit. I'm also making dinner and taking care of a few other things at home, but I'm glad to be here and to be able to listen in. And I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am exploring options for MDiv programs starting next fall. And a book I'm reading right now, I have a whole stack, but right now I'm reading The 5 Invitations by Frank Costas Eskeet.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to try to share my screen here and show a little slideshow that I usually show to our prospective students during these. And if I can get to work right, the screen is a little small, and so everything keeps layering over each other and I'm not seeing what I need to, so we'll see. So when you're seeing my screen right here, are you seeing the, is this blocking everything? The little squares of you guys, is it blocking anything here? Or do you see it okay?
Julie, it came up briefly. Now it's black and it says loading. There we go. It's up.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Okay, well, this very first slide here, this is a postcard that we send to our prospective students after we've been contacting them for about 30 days. And this is brand new, and it includes some of the people here at ESR. And I just wanted to introduce a little bit to some of them, because this is who we are. This right here is Kaya. And Kaya graduated last year, I believe, with an MDiv. Is that right, Lonnie? And
Yes,
Kaya had a yoga ministry, and also, yeah. And Kaya also worked with Ben and Kristen on the storytelling events that we had in town. And Ben shared a little bit of that during his class last night. And I'm eagerly waiting to hear what Kaya is doing now. They said that they're in transition. I'm not quite sure what they are going to do. They have several things in mind right at the moment. So they said that they would let me know soon. So I'm anxious to report what Kaya is doing now. In the middle here is Ben. Ben is one of our professors, Ben Brazel, and he's here with one of our students in the MAPS program, one of our international students who is also an Earlham College graduate. That's Maria. Up in the right-hand corner here, we have someone looking out towards the mountain range, and I found out that this was during one of our India trips. Lonnie, did you go on the last India trip? Did you lead that one?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. And so we do offer some trips when we don't have COVID keeping us from traveling. We do offer some contextual theology trips. This building here is the Earlham College, or the Earlham School of Religion classroom building. And in the spring, it's absolutely gorgeous. We have beautiful flowering trees. It's absolutely beautiful. Down in the corner here, this is Kristen Laws. She has been behind her little logo during all the Zoom calls. Kristen is an Earlham College graduate. She's a psychology major, and she's been working at ESR now for about 2.5 years, and she is our events coordinator and also helps with the applications, and she's absolutely incredible. She's really fast on this computer stuff, a lot faster than I am. She had to step away from the call. She may be back, but she may say hi. We may talk her into telling us what book she's reading later.
Hi, I'm back.
Okay. You see this slide? Whoops, it's going through here too fast here. Okay. So what makes ESR different from other seminaries? We are a place where people who do not feel welcome at other seminaries or in other religious institutions do feel welcome at Earlham School of Religion. And we also share a campus with Other Peace Church Seminary, which is Bethany Seminary, which is Church of the Brethren. Their building is right next door to ours. We're both on the Earlham College campus. We have a cross-registration agreement with them and with 4 other seminaries. And with Bethany Seminary, you sometimes can't tell if students are Bethany students or if they're Earlham School of Religion students, because they do take a lot of, their students take a lot of their courses at ESR. Our students take a lot of courses there. In fact, the New Testament courses, I believe, is what our students take there. And then ESR considers ministry a very broad and creative term. So people who want to focus on very creative ministries, not just pulpit ministry, not just pastoral care kinds of ministries, all different kinds of ministries. So it is a place that people can come and explore and learn things that can help them with these creative ministries, things that others may not think of, this is a good place to come to do that. And ESR has been doing distance learning for quite a while, and that made it really easy for us to switch to all online, all virtual courses, whether they were online or if they were blended versus using Zoom. We were able to do that when COVID struck last March. We were able to do that very quickly. Normally, it says my internet's unstable, so I apologize. Normally, our 2-week intensives are done residentially, but we were able to move those even to blended courses.
Julie?
Yes.
I just wanted to
Yes.
underscore what you were talking about with Bethany for our students, because we have such a great exchange program with them, that as you're looking at curricula and so on, also look at what Bethany is offering. Because there are some courses that are closed,
Yes.
like our supervised ministry course. Bethany students don't take that. And likewise with their ministry formation course, our students. But all the other courses, in addition to the New Testament, where our students would be taking that course with a Bethany professor, are open. So you sort of double the offerings that are potentially available to you.
Exactly. And even our course listing, I just completed it today and we posted it on our website. The course listing for fall includes all of the ESR classes and the Bethany classes as well. So you can see what's going on at both of the seminaries. And then we also have cross-registration with several other seminaries too, including the Methodist Theological School in Ohio. Has a UU House of Study. So our students who want to study UU ministry can take their courses at ESR, but then can take their 4 courses they need for UU ordination through MTSO and through their House of Study. And then also with Payne Seminary and the Anabaptist Mennonite Biblical Seminary up in Elkhart, Indiana. And what is the other? I always forget the other. Is it? There's one more. I'll think of it. So what you can do is, if there are classes that you want to take at one of those other seminaries, you just let our registrar know. They will let their registrar know, and then it works through with the tuition and that way. Who comes to ESR? We have people of all ages. New college grads who plan to become ministers, recent college grads, maybe who have been out for several years, who have been doing some kind of service or other jobs and want to learn more about social activism and peace work. We have established ministers and pastors. We have others who want to hone their skills in creative ministries. People who just want to engage in study, who want to take a few classes, just from all different backgrounds and all different ages too. And right now we have over 63 residential and distance students, and the ages range from 20 to 76 years old. So we have several recent graduates, and we have people who are retired and want to start new ministries or just want to engage in discussion and be involved with others and sit in a classroom and continue learning from all different religious backgrounds. We have Quakers, Sufi, Methodist, Episcopalian, Catholics, Buddhists, Unitarian, Universalists, Presbyterians, Metropolitan Community Church, etc. And each year the balance may be a little different. One year we might have more Quakers than others. And then just all different flavors of Quakers too. So people feel really comfortable. I know that some people say, do I have to be a Quaker to come? No, you don't have to be a Quaker to come. I think that because what we do has a Quaker, distinctly Quaker flavor to it, but definitely you do not have to be Quaker to come. And right now we have students from all over the country, we even have a student up in Alaska. Last year, we had students in Oregon, California. We've had students out east, a lot from Florida. So just all over. And in fact, some of our residential students lived in Michigan and would drive down once a week to come to classes. So really from all over. And then our students attend 2-week intensives in August, January, and May, and then they do their fall and spring semesters as well. And I'll let you read over this. Since my internet's unstable, if you can read that, I'll let you just read through the alumni occupations. This is just a sample.
Julie?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say in terms of the intensive slot, since, you know, pre and post COVID, they will be residential, that it has been a great time for students who are in the access program, or as Julie was saying, all parts of the country that don't get here on a regular basis, to come together and be part of a community of while they're taking the 2-week intensive. So that's been a very important community building and intellectually stimulating time.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a wonderful time for people to have meals together, get to know each other because they're lodging in the same place. It really does build that sense of community. The programs that we have 4 degree programs. There's a master divinity, and it is a 3 to 5 year program, depending on whether you're residential or access, if you're doing full-time or part-time. And it does have residency requirement even for those who choose the access program. And it's equivalent to 4 on-campus courses, which would probably be the 2-week intensives. And then 4 other courses can be taken as blended courses. And then the rest of the courses can be done fully online or blended. Then there's the Master of Arts in Religion program. It's 2 to 3 years, just depending how you do it. It also has a residency requirement. The Master of Arts in Theopoetics and Writing is a 2-year program. If you go full-time, there is no residency requirement for this program. Can do it fully online or through blended courses. However, some of the courses that you might want to take are only offered during some of the 2-week intensives. So it's very likely that you would come at least for 1 or 2 of the intensives. The Master of Arts in Peace and Social Transformation program, that's our very new program. It says 1 year, but it's more like 10 months. It's residential only. You start this program in August, early August, with a 2-week intensive, and then you do your all semester courses. You come for the January, you stay for the January intensive, you do your spring courses, you do a May intensive, and then you do a 6-week internship, and then you're done. And it is a funded program. It's tuition free. You pay for it, but it is our only tuition-free program. All the other programs, the degree programs, you can apply for scholarships for those. Most of those are residential scholarships that through scholarships, almost always for residential students, your tuition will all be paid. There will be fees that you have to pay, just the resident or the semester fees. And then we have a few scholarships and need-based aid for our access students. The certificates are 6 course certificates, each one of those. Those can be done, you have up to 3 years to finish them. You can easily do them in 2 years. And those are Quaker Studies, Spirituality, Quaker Spirituality, Spirituality in a Multi-Faith World, Writing as Ministry, Entrepreneurial Ministry, and Bivocational Ministry. Now, the one that I just said was Spirituality. We've actually broken that down to, there's a Spiritual Formation Certificate and there's a Spiritual Exploration Certificate. The Spiritual Formation one is our brand new program, and it uses the basic courses or the foundational courses from the Master of Divinity program. And so that would be like spiritual formation, the 3 spiritual formation courses, and then discernment of gifts and call. And then you can take 2 other courses that are intro courses from the rest of the course schedule, or the course the courses that throughout the curriculum, the intro courses. And that one, that if you complete that, then you can decide if you want to continue in the MDiv program and use that as part of your MDiv program. I'm sorry, my dog is trying to tell me that she wants to go out, so I apologize for that. She's standing right here smiling at me. As I said, we do have financial support. There's international Cooper scholarships for those who are not citizens of the U.S. We do give 2 of those at any given time. And then we have the 2 diversity scholarships. And we have residential Cooper scholarships, leadership and service scholarship. And that is really designed for those who have been doing service program, like a 1 or 2 year service program, like Quaker Voluntary Service, or Friends Council on National Legislation, American Friends Service Committee, Peace Corps, and then others like Jesuit Volunteer Corps, some the others like that, for people who have done that within 3 years of leaving those programs. They can receive a leadership and service scholarship. We do one that's distance and one that's residential. Also, I don't know if any of you have heard of the Honor Scholars Program that many colleges have, or I should say there's about 28 colleges that have it. And then the Quaker Funds, they also are eligible for the scholarship. And then there's a Quaker Professional Scholarship, and this is actually for distance students, and it's for students who are working in a Quaker organization who want to continue working in the Quaker organization, studying at a distance half-time. So, you know, for instance, if there's somebody working at a Quaker school or a Quaker college, or like Quaker Voluntary Service, but not as a volunteer, actually working for the organization, and they want to work on a degree, they don't want to quit their job, and they don't want to move here. This is a scholarship that might work for them. My dog is eating her food. I'm very sorry about that. And then there's the Quaker California Quaker Scholarship, and it's extra aid for our members of Quaker meetings who live in California. And then our distance students can get up to 50% in aid, or up to 25% aid for certificates. However, this last year, because of COVID, and for this coming year, because of COVID, we are offering up to 100% in need-based aid for degree-seeking students. I'm not sure about the
Julie, are you there?
Can you hear me?
There we go. Now.
Okay, sorry about that. So I apologize for that. So let's see, the last, I think we were talking about the need-based aid. Is that where the last that you saw me? That was the end of that was the last screen.
Yes.
So, okay. So why don't I open it up for questions? I know that we have someone that's interested in the MDiv. We have somebody interested in the certificates. So if you want to just go with your questions on that.
Julie, this is Vicki. Can you hear me?
Do you have questions? Yeah, I sure can.
Okay. I wondered about the intensives. Are those a whole course, or are they an introduction to a course? What are the 2-week intensives?
They're a whole course. Yeah, they are a whole course. You'll do one whole course in that 2 weeks time. You'll be in class for half of the day, either the morning or the afternoon, just depending on what the professor or even the other students, because we've had intensives before that it was scheduled for morning, but more of the students could meet in an afternoon, and they changed that. And so that might work out. So you come for 2 full weeks, you do your class, you sit in the class for half a day and then have the rest of the day to actually do your work. Also spend time with the other students. It's a great way of doing that. So yes, one full class.
Okay.
And our Master of Divinity program, it does start all Master of Divinity students and all Master of Arts in Peace and Social Transformation students have to start with their first intensive in August.
And also there's work that is done before you come onto campus, and then there's time after the 2-week intensive to finish paper or projects that you have.
Right.
Okay. And can you do all 6 courses for a certificate in intensives?
I would not all courses are offered during intensives, so
Okay.
it might be difficult to do that. Yeah, it might be difficult.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it, at least the way we're set up now. I think the idea is to try to have, you know, courses that are from those different certificates show up in the intensives, but we couldn't put all of them in there.
Yeah,
Good to know.
but almost all the courses are offered as blended courses during the regular semester, that you could take them online or virtually. Almost all of the other ones.
Good. What about the application
Craig, I think.
process?
Oh, sure. Yeah, for a certificate, the application process is there's a short application. There's some essays. We need 2 letters of recommendation, a background check, and you submit those all through a portal that you're able to go in and access to see what we've received, what we haven't yet. There's an application fee of $35. I don't think I'm missing anything on that. Normally, once you have all your application materials, then we usually have a turnaround time of about a week or 2 to let you know if you've been accepted. And you can also apply as an occasional student if you're not quite sure if you want to do any of the programs or certificate. You can take your first course to see how you do with that. And you can take your first course as an occasional student for half off. So that's just something to think about.
Okay, good.
And Craig, you have a question?
Yes. I already have a Master of Divinity. I was wondering if it would be possible to sort of, I also noticed that you have that your MDiv program can also be designated as a Master of Ministry. I was wondering if it would be possible for someone who already has an MDiv to register as an MMin student and use some of the credits as some of my credits as for advanced standing or whatever.
We would look at your transcript, and we could apply some of those. We could transfer some of those most likely to the program. I don't recall how many of those at the moment we could use, but it's likely that we could use some of those.
Okay.
So that you don't have to retake some of the classes. Lonnie, I don't know if you have more information about that.
I think it may be a third up to a half that might be possible. Again, Craig, so you understand that designation, Master of Ministry, came out of the Quaker concern that we, not to be riding our high horse, the same claim, a Master of Divinity sounds a little prideful. So the program itself the students get to decide how they want that degree named. All the requirements are the same, whether you're taking a Master of Divinity or a Master of Ministry, right? And also another thing to make clear that you could take courses since you already have that degree. It would be great to have you do more, but you could just be admitted as an occasional student and take courses that interest you, that you feel might help you in the path you're on now, rather than thinking, I have to do another complete degree program. So
Okay.
you have options is the point.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, or one of the certificates too, if you just wanted to do a certificate to add on to your MDiv.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, I'm wondering exactly what it means. Is that online plus in person? Or
I
what?
can't hear you, Jane.
You can't hear me now?
Okay, you're coming in and out. Try it again.
I'll get rid of my picture. I was wondering if blended means partly in person and partly online, and how that's figured, whether.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the blended courses mean that you would attend the course during the time that it's offered, but you could attend it via Zoom. You might have some coursework that's on the computer through the course management system, but most of it would be just as if you're in the classroom, but you would join via Zoom. Isn't that right, Lonnie?
Yeah, so those were regular courses that we just added this video component to, a regular residential course. So if you're in one of those blended courses, it means some people are going to be on the screen and some people are going to be sitting in the classroom. And then there are completely online courses as well that happen. So those are distinct.
That was
And
kind of
some
my
people refer to those as synchronous. What's that, Ina?
Yeah, that was going to be my question as well. If like most of the classes are those blended classes, or if most are asynchronous. Sort of what would you say is the percentage of asynchronous versus synchronous for distance classes?
There are fewer asynchronous. Most of them are what we consider the blended courses. However, having said that though, that some of the professors, if they know a student is interested in the fully online course, some of them will offer it to them. Like if you don't see one on there that you want to take, but there's a course that's happening, we can check with the professor, because sometimes they have offered it as an online course and they may offer it that way for you. So that we're very flexible, very flexible with that. And also with, also very flexible with the kind of independent study kinds of courses too.
And to make clear, for the introductory courses, so in the Master of Divinity or Master of Ministry, everybody be taking those. Oftentimes the way it works, there'll be one that's completely offered online, say in the fall, and then it will be a blended class offered in the spring. So that gives way of students covering it either way. So that's where that comes in. And I know were there other things in your question there that you?
No, I think it just took me a while to get to what I wanted to ask, but that was kind of that asynchronous versus synchronous is what I was curious about.
And
Yeah.
you can look on the website and sort of see the course schedule, and they have their designation. So when you're looking at a course, then it will have, TS, Theological Studies 101, that's an intro course, and it'll be a hyphen O online, or B blended. So you could sort of get a sense that way of what's being offered, how.
Perfect. That's super helpful. Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, I'm wondering if the core courses vary or the same for all the different degree certificates.
I'm sorry, I'm only catching a few words, Jane.
I heard there were 4 core courses. Is that just for some programs or the same core courses or what?
If I'm hearing you, you're asking about the core courses.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For the div and for the spiritual formation certificate, I'm going to mute you because I hear feedback. There's the spiritual formation courses. There's spiritual formation and personal practice. There's spiritual formation in community. I think that's the second one. And then there's spiritual formation, conflict, and what is that one called, Lonnie? The third one.
Yeah, well, the second one is spiritual formation and public mission. Then the third one is
I know we keep changing it.
Some of these courses are new to us.
Yeah, and then the fourth course would be the discernment of calling gifts. And those are the core courses. And then you can take 2 other courses that are introductory courses throughout the curriculum to complete the 6-course certificate. With the Master of Divinity, you have electives that you can use, but then also you have a concentration or an emphasis that you take courses in that emphasis. So just depending on whether it's Master of Divinity or the certificate, there are those core courses, and then there are other courses that you can take. And on our website, if you go to the perspective tab and then look at the degrees, if you click on each one of those headings, it'll list the courses that you need to take.
So
other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. I know, what's for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
I am making paneer and rice, and it was mostly pre-made, but I mixed it together. So.
All right. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, I think one of those nights where.
Speaking for myself, I just finished breakfast, so.
Oh yes, that's true. Oh yes. So I know, what program are you considering?
Well, I think what is really, I'm interested ultimately in chaplaincy. I am in education right now. I heard there's lots of other folks in education here as well.
Yes.
But I'm interested ultimately in chaplaincy, but I think what I'm really drawn to at Earlham is the writing program and the writing for ministry. That kind of unique components of the program there. Great.
And Kyle, I know that you've been on a few of the Zoom sessions. What program are you interested in?
Not sure. Theology is pretty new for me. I'm coming from a background in literary studies, and so I'm definitely interested in something along the line of theopoetics and the intersections of critical practices literarily and also theologically.
Oh, great.
Still feeling it out.
Great. Thank you very much. Well, we're just about at the end of our hour here, and I'm sorry it was so difficult to get everything going here. I really apologize for that. I've learned my lesson that I just need to stay in the office and do my work there. So,
and Julie, as Julie has noted in other sessions, if you have particular questions about a particular program, like the pastoral care emphasis within the MDiv, or the Master of Arts in Theopoetics and Writing, you know, the faculty members are happy to talk with you about those programs and your very particular interest in what you're thinking you want to do.
Yes, definitely. They would love to talk to you about that. So we can set up any Zoom calls with them, or if you want to email them, whatever works best for you. Tomorrow we have a couple sessions tomorrow. We have one of our alums who will be doing a discussion, and then our new professor will be doing a meet and greet and kind of talking a little bit about his work. So I hope that you can join us tomorrow. And again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay.
Thanks very much. Nice talking with you all.
Nice to see
Many thanks for soldiering on through.
Yeah, I just wish I could have played that video for you. It's such a good music video. What I was going to play is because since you're not here on campus with me, I couldn't show you around campus, and really miss having students on campus, but also just to give you a little taste of Indiana. Okay, she's sharing the link right there. Yeah. It's Carrie Newcomer. Carrie Newcomer is a Quaker poet and musician, and she does beautiful work. She has some beautiful music and videos. And then she works with Parker Palmer, and if you come to ESR, you'll hear Parker's name quite a bit. He's a Quaker author too. Wrote a book called Let Your Life Speak, and we use it often. But they have been doing some work together too, and he actually wrote some of the lyrics for some of her newer music. So if you get a chance, listen to the one song. The one that I really like is, I've already forgotten the name of it. It's something about 3 feet. Yes, so yeah, I'm all messed up this evening. I really know. It's not just the computer's bandwidth. It's my brain's bandwidth that is not working tonight.
Really been doing a lot of work over this week in a lot of these sessions.
I didn't get a nap this afternoon. I needed one bad. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope to be working with you all very soon on your applications.
Bye, everybody. Good to meet you.
And James, talk soon.
Thanks very
too.
much.
Bye, everybody.